Frank Skinner.
Radio.
Everything's too loud. I think you'd agree with that. That's life. Some 16th century writer described London as one long shout. Oh, there you are. Sorry, this is Frank Skinner, and it's Not the Weekend podcast. I'm with Emily and Gareth in a small studio.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi there, Frank.
Oh, I'm liking it, like we only just met. Yeah, and I'm liking it. I'm always liking the whole radio thing of doing radio. I'm liking headphones and microphones and the things, faders. The faders.
Makes me feel quite Reedian, slightly Edmondsonian.
Is it like living in Reading, England?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Reading England.
I did a lot of radio interviews this week, so I've had a chance to see how the other radio people live their lives. What's something I have found an inspirational. But a lot of people, I think, have said that Six Music is inspirational. And there was something I discovered about Six Music that certainly inspired me. And it's basically, only the DJ gets paid.
Oh, what? God.
Yeah, I did the show, and I met two people working there. None of basically
they
Six
don't get
Music
money.
is essentially a sweatshop. Yeah, they were both. What do they call them? Interns.
Work experience.
Something.
Interns.
The whole place is people by slave labour.
Oh.
Yeah, Abraham Lincoln won't even do Six Music on principle.
Oh, I wondered why I never heard him on there.
Yeah, so he'd be great on there. So the trouble is, I find that. The beard just catches the bottom of the microphone.
Makes sort of a scratching sound.
Yeah, it's all right. Obviously, there's no tash.
Well, that sounds a bit of a sorry state of affairs.
Yeah, it's. I was shocked by it, but it's think on.
Yeah. No, thank you.
And I'll tell you something else as well. Everyone said, "Can you not mention that you work for Absolute Radio?" Because we don't like mentioning other stations. No, I mean...
No, they just don't like you mentioning other stations to the interns, because there's places where you get money.
No, this wasn't just Six Music. This was every radio interview I
really?
did. More or less everyone said, and can you not mention Absolute Radio?
Really?
Yeah. And we often mention other...
Yeah.
Well, exactly.
Yeah, Capital Radio, rubbish.
Is rubbish.
Yeah, Smooth
Smooth
FM,
FM.
rubbish. Yeah, complete
Radio
rubbish.
2.
Yeah. Hateful. In every aspect.
We mention other people all the
we're
time.
not. I think, we live and let live. That's...
Choice FM, angry.
Is that angry?
Yeah, it just feels like shouty, Choice FM.
I've never heard Choice FM.
It's angry.
You know why I've never heard Choice FM?
Why?
Because I have one. So, you see, we mention lots of other radio stations as part of our warm-hearted live and let live policy.
I listened to a lot of Chris Moyles on Comic Relief this week.
Did you? How was that?
I liked it.
No, you see.
It's emotional at the end.
Was he? Drunk. Totally drunk.
Chris, Fern Cotton said at the end that she thought that after the big long marathon of like over 2 days, it felt like all radio should stop from that point, and that's often how people feel after the Chris Moyles show.
So you give with one hand and you take with the other. You enjoyed it, and then you've had a part
No, I thought it was amazing.
As one
it
of
was
the,
really
I
good.
would say, one of the leading figures in this industry. I've said in this industry.
No, it's good.
He's all right.
He's no Reed.
I'm going to call him Moylesy. If I.
Don't call him
That's how radio
Moylesy.
I've gone now.
Oh.
I tell you what I discovered as well. It was quite crafty. This is that the best way to, because I was on there plugging this TV show I'm going to do. I won't name it because I don't want to reduce this beautiful thing to some sort of commercial vehicle. But what happened was I just go on and I talk about this TV show.
Yeah.
But I realised, of course, from being in my car that a lot of the local radio stations, they only come on my radio when it's traffic news.
Oh, yeah.
So I was doing LBC, and they said, we're going to go over to the traffic now. There's heavy traffic on the A40, and I said, Frank Skinner's opinionated next day. And now that would have gone to loads of people who never listened to it.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that maybe we could have a I don't know how it works. Have you any idea what the technology is when that radio station only comes on for traffic?
I think it's some sort of deep black magic they use.
That's what I thought. So I thought if we could get the same hardware,
Yeah.
then we could say, if there's a good laugh on our show, that could be the only bits that come on. We could play martial music, slow martial music, like when a member of the royal family dies.
Yeah.
And then just come in for the big laughs. What do you think?
I
'Cause
love
the other
that
stuff, I don't
plan.
know about you, it's driving me up the wall. There's only so much fast-forwarding you can do on an iPod,
Oh.
I find. So I learnt that. I met Robert Elms, who is a radio legend.
Oh.
He's been doing his show for 17 years.
I was going to say 70, and I still would have believed you.
Yeah, 17. Imagine this. We've been
Very
doing this
big in the
for 2.
80s, he was.
Yes, oh God. He's
Massive,
He was the
massive
80s. In many
80s
ways, he was the
figure.
80s.
Yeah.
And then I had 2...
Never heard of him.
Robert
I
Elms.
Never heard of Robert
Never
Elms.
heard of Robert
Oh, he's a cultural commentator. He's all sorts.
Yes.
Isn't he, Frank?
He had... he had Dutch relatives. They all died in the 80s. Yeah, that was...
Dated Sade briefly. Anyway.
Did he date Sade?
Yeah, dated Sade.
Oh, I didn't know that. God, he's gone through the 80s, really. Close personal friends with Rubik.
Sade's dated now.
No, she isn't. She's back.
No, she's
Sade.
back.
See?
Yeah, and still looking great.
And quite a back as well on her.
Got a good back, has she?
She has.
Wasn't like that
I
back
don't like
in
the
Sade.
ponytail just above the coccyx. But I said a couple of things which.
That's probably for the best.
I
on
talked
the
about.
radio.
But I talked about the West Brom manager.
Oh, Roy Hodgson.
Yeah, and I said, I'm confident that he'll keep us in the Premiership. I said he's a wise old owl, and I said, and funnily enough, he looks like one. And
all right.
the thing is, he does look a bit.
Well, look, it's not that Roberto one.
No, but he looks
Extraordinary looking.
He looks a bit like the owl in Sword in the Stone, if you remember that owl. But now I'm worried now, because the last thing I want to do is estrange myself from the Albion match. Is it an insult to be likened to an owl?
Yeah.
Is
It's
it?
not great, is it? Have you said,
Looks, if you said it, well, you said the wise bit.
The
but
wise bit
also,
he'll like that, but it's
it
actually
depends how
the
vain
physical.
he is. I mean, how vain on a
Is he quite
scale of 1 to
veiny?
10?
The thing is, I sit behind the where they sit, the
in
manager's
those big-
dugout. So
big car seats,
So
I hate those.
I might be spotted, especially as I've noticed he can turn his head 360 degrees. And he only goes to night games. That's what I can't work out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does he hoot with laughter?
Yeah, I don't know, but it was. We was glad of him when that vole got on the pitch. No, but I
Does
really.
he sometimes say it's twit to all? Is that something? I don't know. I had a go.
I don't. I went with that, then I thought, oh, that doesn't make sense. I felt sorry. I should have just trusted you.
Yeah.
I want to give you another go. You're coming up with another one, aren't you?
No.
Oh, sorry.
Quite happy with twit to all. To all.
Oh, to
To
it,
it,
to all.
to
I
all.
see. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. Okay, yeah, that is
Yeah,
good.
that's
We could
something.
Well,
just-
how does the twit bit work then?
Let's not.
gonna
I
leave
mean,
that,
you
let's
don't have to
not.
go over it like it's some sort
No.
of crime scene.
It's had an element of. We'll just put that. It was like when.
The twit's worrying me because it doesn't actually work.
Yeah, but the
Let's
to
be
all makes
honest.
up for
Let
it.
it
Is the
go.
last thing I
Okay.
said.
Just let it go. It's like
We're talking
when,
about a man being an owl.
Yeah,
Frank said his head goes all the way around.
Gary Bushell did a review of Martin Chuzzlewit.
Yeah.
Remember Martin Chuzzlewit? And he said, too much chuzzle and not enough wit. And I thought, I'm liking not enough wit.
What's chuzzle?
Exactly. What is chuzzle?
Exactly.
What's
if it had been
twit?
muzzle, that
What's
would have been
twit?
fine.
What's chuzzle? You can't, you've got to be. You've got to be more...
I got no credit for hoot with laughter, and I was fine with
I
it.
didn't even hear.
I
who
love
was that.
Chuzzle. I think it's brilliant.
Anyway, so,
Anyway,
that,
so you're worried you've insulted the West Brom manager.
Yeah,
And those
I
tickets
am.
are going to be drying up.
Because I pay for my tickets, can I say
Oh,
that? How,
oh,
yeah, I know that shocked you. But I do. I don't want... I wouldn't take money from the club. It wouldn't be right.
No, I wouldn't.
Anyway, I don't want him screeching at me. Oh, no. So, anyway, the place is like a barn, the ground. But also,
Why is that player limping? He's got a torn knee.
tremendous.
Oh, yeah.
We can't
You
top
there?
that. We can't top that. That feels like a full stop.
Yeah.
So I also met a woman. I think I can say her name. She's called Lisa Smith,
Okay.
and she's a friend of our producers, Emma Grafton. I think she said. Is that what your maiden name was?
Scrafton.
Scrafton.
Grafton.
Yeah, she said she'll always be Emma Scrafton to me, she said.
Did she? That's
I
not
thought
very
that's
nice.
spiteful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
She sounds more of a frenemy, Frank,
She,
if you ask me.
Yeah, Laurie McFrenemy. So anyway, she said I'm doing it. I mean, obviously it was a very noble thing. She was putting together a radio show for people in Japan as a sort of a solidarity type thing. And she said to me, "You're very popular in Japan. Will you do a link?" And I said, "Hold on." She said, "No, that's according to that's what it says on the internet." No. There's no way in the world I'm popular in Japan. But anyway...
They like their football in Japan.
They do, but they won't know me. Don't be ridiculous.
No.
Anyway, yes. I said I'd do it. So what they wanted to do was do a link and then pick a song, for the show.
Yeah.
So I said, obviously, I just said the truth, that everything was, seen it on the telly, and it's very, very upsetting, and, and all that, which obviously it is. And I said, and I've chosen a song that was a favourite of mine, Teenage Dirtbag, which, by Wheatus, which is a song that I love. But then afterwards, when I saw other people's selections, it was all You Need Is Love and stuff like that. And I think I might not have gone emotional
Might have
enough.
sounded a little bit Simon Callow.
Yeah, well, what's that mean? Yeah, but Teenage Dirtbag, I don't know if it's... I mean, to me, it's a very emotional song. I chose it partly because it's me and Kath.
Well, it was your song, wasn't it?
It's our song, yeah. Because although we're not teenage, we are grimy.
We are
in the
dirtbags,
extreme.
yeah.
Totally. Anyway, I hope no one.
Oh,
was,
it'll be all right.
Yes, I said nice, from the heart things as well, so that'll be all right.
Don't bring heart into it. We've already mentioned all the others.
Oh yeah, heart also awful.
Heart also awful.
Oh, I tell you what, I did like that. Did you see Unluckiest Woman in the World in the papers?
I love Unluckiest Woman in the World.
I've got the damn thing here. That's how pleased I was with it. Let me find it.
So he won.
Let me get this right.
Okay.
She said, the girl who dumped trucker Matthew Breach for being dull, only to see him scoop a 17.8 million lotto fortune, was branded the unluckiest woman in Britain last night. Now, I don't know about you, but I'd love to have been at the branding. That would have been fabulous, wouldn't it? The
Very
smell
cruel,
of,
the lottery.
But imagine that. It actually says unluckiest woman in Britain. No, I'd love to have been at that. Looked like she could have gone up in a burst of flames.
She walked out on him, didn't she? Because apparently he was boring.
Yeah, but again, another quote I'm loving.
Go on.
They were a couple for 14 years, but brunette Kerry then walked out, telling pals, they always have pals in the, telling pals she wanted lots of sex.
Oh.
How common. How very, very common. Who would...
Well, I'll tell you something, he'll certainly be getting lots of sex now.
I should think he will. 17 point. I mean, she's done all right, Kerry, though. She's got a man.
Do you like who her man is? He's described as failed web cafe owner, Travis Mains Martin.
I love Travis Mains Martin. I'm sure he was a close friend of the Rolling Stones in 1967. Travis Mains Martin, how brilliant. He couldn't be boring with a name like that.
I think they're painting their life with him harshly. It says she is now
Travis Mains Martin?
Yeah, in a dingy bedsit with failed web cafe owner.
Travis Mains Martin.
Although he does say,
because you could say they live in a she lives in a studio flat with a young entrepreneur.
Oh, I like your spin, Gareth.
28.
They're trying to make... Right, I'm not into this. Why is she unlucky? She broke up with the guy 3 years ago.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Did she?
And, just because something...
Yeah, because let's be honest, sorry to interrupt, but her and Travis Mains Martin, he's had time to get his feet under the table, if you know what I mean.
Well, they've had a child together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They've got a toddler called Blake.
Yeah. Blake Mains Martin?
Blake Mains Martin.
I don't know why Travis Mains Martin can't phone his aristocratic relatives and say, we're on hard times, can't you help us out with this? And his dad will say, I told you, Travis, if you married that woman, you'll never be welcome in this house again. He'd say, I had enough with all that stuff in the 60s, but now you've really gone too far. I mean, OK, the silken cravats and the... The loon pants was what? But now, really? That's what I imagine it's like at the main
Right.
Martins.
Travis
The
Mains
main
Martin.
Martins.
He's not posh, trust me. I can tell by his
Travis
haircuts.
Main Martin is not posh. Don't be ridiculous.
He's got one of those haircuts. It's a bit Beckham child. He's not
I
posh,
wonder if
trust
there's
me.
any Travis Minor Martins who are not as well known.
But Matthew the trucker, whose hobby is sleeping.
Yes.
It's not really a hobby, that, is it?
Like an idiot.
I don't know if I would count that as a hobby, sleeping.
Well, what does he call a coma? A boss man's holiday? No, but there's a bit halfway through. So the story starts. I've got it all here. It starts off with the bit I said, that she dumped him for being
Boring.
Then he won 17.8 million.
Yeah.
And she's been dubbed the unluckiest woman in Britain.
Mm.
And then about 10 paragraphs in, it says, a pal said, another pal. Let me get this right. Now, remember, this is 10 paragraphs into the story. A pal said, I should say there's a photo of Kerry and Travis Main Martin, and then this is the quote is after the photo.
In bed.
In bed, strangely. Yes. And it says, a pal said, Kerry's got to be of course, Travis is used to a four-poster. So he's a hard time. A pal said, Kerry's got to be the unluckiest woman in the country. Yeah, he said that. She was with Matthew through all the hard times, and that inevitably caused strains. But after she walked out on him, he struck it rich. And he thought, yes, all this has been said at length. What this is it in the Sun? Is that where it's from?
I believe so.
It's the Sun thinking, we put a picture in now. I imagine that having looked at the picture, people have forgotten all that went before it. So we better give them a brief summary. Because it is, it's almost a whole-page article. We've got to help them through.
Yeah.
So it's the sort of base camp one for the readers.
And they are, the Sun in that sense, are the pal, I suspect.
Oh, yes,
What?
I think so. There is
Yeah.
no pal.
What?
Perhaps there is no
No pal?
No.
I think you'll find that most of Travis Main Martin's pals are in the Bullingdon Club.
He's not posh.
He's got to be. He's called Travis Mains Martin.
Yeah, but we live in the age of the double barrel. I mean, these modern types, Frank, everyone's a double barrel. Soon, Skinner is actually going to be posher to have just a single name like Skinner.
Do you think that's right?
Yeah, I bet you've got a double barrel.
What, Richards?
Yeah. Do you share with Laura?
No.
Oh, very old-fashioned.
So what?
Did you take my name?
So what what's Ethan? Is Ethan?
Gotta keep the Richards
is Ethan
line.
called Ethan Richards?
Ethan Richards, yeah.
What's Laura's maiden name?
Hills.
Oh, the hills have eyes.
Richards Hills. They do.
Richards
you know.
Hills.
I was surprised at the family gatherings. but-
Hills Richard.
Oh,
Hills-
that's quite posh.
Hills Richard is better than Richards Hills, isn't it?
Oh, that sounds all a bit Sky Sports.
Well, Richard Hill sounds like
Yeah.
an area of Derby. Which,
Yeah, so basically, I think the good news is Matthew is single. He's going to join a dating website. Don't bother, Matthew.
no need.
No. There's someone here. I mean, I just think he and I don't mind sleeping. I'd be fine with that.
He said after he won it, he phoned his mum to tell her he'd won 17.8 million, and then he had a bit of a nap to cool his head. Is he narcoleptic? I mean, nobody who's that excited has a nap, do they? Wow, God, I've won 17. Unbelievable. What a cool dude he is.
I like the sound of him.
Still, as long as when Travis comes into his inheritance,
He hasn't got
everything will be fine.
I think she's lucky, this woman. I think she's lucky that she left that boring man before money came in to confuse things.
Exactly, because
Imagine
she
if
might
she'd
have
had to
stayed.
make-
Oh, men
choice.
with no money always say that.
Do they now?
Yeah, they're always quite boring as well, aren't they? Well, I hope it all turns out.
I hope.
for
I mean, they
both of
did.
them.
There was a request. Apparently, I think it was her mother who seems to be getting involved as well. Unsurprisingly,
Yes.
The mother said something like, "Oh, well, I hope he does come good," and But then she says she hasn't heard from Matthew to see if he'll give her any money. Why should he give her money? He's responded, "We'll see."
Yeah, he didn't rule it out.
I don't think "we'll see" ever ends well, though, does it?
Why give them money when she's going out with a close friend of Mick Jagger?
No.
to hell with it.
Well, maybe he'll invest in the web cafe, internet cafe, get that back on its
Late for
feet.
that. I think if you went to that cafe, the only webs you'd find would be in the corners of the ceiling. Oh, anyway, what else?
Well, I'll tell you what else. I've had, I've moved out of my old place, staying with friends.
Celebrity friends.
Yeah, staying with celebrities, SWC, on the census form. We already established that.
Yeah.
Is my box of choice. But obviously, I've bought somewhere, and I'm waiting for it all to go through,
I should say that Emily's staying with Duncan Norvell. Chase me fame. But I once saw a poster for a Duncan Norvell show about 3 or 4 years ago, and it said, Duncan Norvell, TV star of the 70s. I thought, oh no.
I'm not staying with Duncan. Can you imagine if I was? People think I am now. Anyway, I found the place that I want, and it's lovely. So what I'm doing, Frank, is preparing, before the big move, making some little key purchases, items I want. Also, I've got a little garden area, which I haven't had before. I know. Frank.
Sorry, what?
It's my first sort of patch. It's my... Gareth.
Yes.
It's the first time I've had a little patch.
Yes.
We're never going to get through this.
No, come along.
And it's concrete.
I hate sleeping in the concrete patch. I don't know about you.
Even the producers lost it. So, but it's a small area, Frank.
Yeah.
It's not a big area.
No, stop it now. This is going.
I'm not trying to do this. I'm explaining. It's a small area. So, but what I want is the odd plant.
You want to spruce it up a bit?
Yeah, I do.
But is it concrete? If it's concrete...
Well, when I say concrete, what I mean is in a really beautiful, like the sort of oriental garden, that sort of thing. It's got those slates. Those slates?
Oh, yes.
Oh, no, it's not some inner city thing. It's very pleasant looking, but it's small. So I need someone just to come in maybe once a month, do a bit of tending.
But hold it, if it's that small, surely can't you do it?
No, absolutely not. So
I think it's quite trendy. I think it could fit with your... I think I saw in I did Alan Titchmarsh this week, and they were advertising Armani kneeling pads.
Oh, I don't want to get those.
Well, they come in handy. I mean, you're going to... Look, I presume there'll be a housewarming party. Speaking of which, is Kate Moss morphing into Gillian Tailforth, or is there something wrong with my computer screen?
Oh, OK.
Anyway.
So it means, I thought what I'll get, Frank, is a man to come in once a month, maybe. Every 3 to 4 weeks. Just an odd job man. That's what I'm looking for, essentially, an odd job man. So I asked a friend who recommended someone. I found the perfect man. He's brilliant. She said, great. He's just left his old job. So he's got, he's ready to start. I said, great. Well, who is he? Is he going to have time to do it? Who is he working for before? U2. U2's gardener.
Hold on, you two don't all live together, do they?
No, but he looked after quite a few of them independently, I think.
Oh, I had a lovely feeling that they all lived in a house with a garden.
But Frank, he's going to...
The big spider, the big spider in the garden, like a big spider greenhouse that they all go in.
But Frank, I can't have you two. It's going to turn up with some big Chris Eubank tractor coming up the street.
It's quite exciting, but you won't be cheap.
Well, this is what... I don't have that kind of money. I have those kind of tastes. I don't have that kind of money.
No.
He'll be good. He'll be good at the edging.
Oh, Gareth.
Absolutely fabulous.
I'm working on Bono. Just give me a moment.
I know, but the good thing is, I think I can be quite demanding, can't I? If he's used to the likes of U2, I expect they had very strong ideas about what they wanted.
Well, I imagine they just grow cabbages and then they're shipped off straight immediately to Africa. Isn't it? I think it should all be given away to
I like a celebrity handyman, though. I think it's the way forward.
Yes.
Nick Knowles. He'd be good. Get him in.
It's I had a personal assistant once who's been Renata John's personal assistant. Renata John.
Not from Renee and Renata Saving All My Love.
Renata John, who was married to Elton John. Everyone forgets that Elton John had a wife once. And she'd been...
I remember her.
Yeah. And that's all. I mean,
Did you quite like knowing that she
was very discreet, obviously.
Oh, she'd have to be.
Well, I mean, for the first fortnight.
I hope U2's gardener's not too discreet, though. I want to find out some information. But do you think I should turn him down, though? I need to find out how much he charges.
I think it's a good brag.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll get some Joshua trees in there.
Oh.
Absolutely marvellous.
A zoo.
Pardon? Kazoo?
A zoo.
Yeah.
They had Something about.
See, I don't know enough about you two to even.
really.
No. I've heard of the Joshua tree.
I've heard of that.
Well, I'll throw that in the first session.
It's not a tree; it's an area, isn't it, Joshua Tree?
Is
it's
it?
where Graham Parsons was burnt.
Oh, I didn't know.
Graham Parsons is a sort of country singer. His mate promised him that he'd burn the body at the Joshua Tree. So he stole the coffin.
Really?
Yeah, and took it there. And made a terrible job of it. When they found it, like, just arm and a bit of chest had gone. It was awful, terrible, drug-crazed. Oh, why did we even go to that area? Let's talk about something nice. What's nice?
Well, we have got something nice, which is a text that we've had in.
Oh?
Do you remember we were talking about things found on skips last week?
We were always talking about that in a way.
No, but we were specifically talking about it.
Yeah.
And there was someone who'd found, and he was called Bobby, and he'd found, do you remember that guy? A gramophone.
Oh, yeah, the Glenn Miller.
Yeah,
Exactly. Jimmy Shand.
We've had a text in. Hi, it's Bobby Nicol here. Thank you for reading my email out on Wednesday. When I found the gramophone at the rubbish tip 10 years ago, I thought it was so funny. He thought it was funny then. There you go. It's quite a strange email, but it's nice anyway. He particularly liked my assumption that he was an elderly chap due to his name Bobby. And as he points out...
Well, I thought he was a tortoiseshell cat, I assumed.
He says he's only 49.
That's quite elderly.
Oh, no.
It is. I mean, I'm older than that, but I can still recognise that is quite elderly. It's a good skip and dump roaming age, I would say.
Well, he says
I didn't start scavenging until I was into my late 30s.
Didn't you?
No.
Oh.
Really?
Well, your mother-in-law...
She still writes.
Your mother-in-law does scavenging.
Yes. She trawls the skips, and now we've got another little one on the way we're going to have to get out ourselves.
She trawls the skips would be a great title for a black and white movie, wouldn't it? Or maybe a Billie Holiday song.
Yeah.
She trawls the skip. Oh, how marvellous.
I think it was one of the best gigs of my life this week.
Wow.
Hold on, let me just get back on my seat. Where?
It was at the Swan Theatre in Stratford-upon-Avon.
Oh, yes.
Which is the big Shakespeare theatre.
Yes. Get away.
Yeah, it's been newly
Isn't it a pub?
renovated.
The old Swan?
No.
They've spent millions on it,
Yeah,
haven't
it's
they?
really nice.
Was it nice?
And it was really good because I did my 20 minutes normal set, so I've done it a lot, I've done those jokes a lot, so it sort of stops being, I know that at some point someone has laughed at all of those jokes, so it sort of becomes like you do it in different rooms and you gauge the room by how and it was just
stand-up comedy basically is what you're talking
yeah,
about.
that's what I'm talking about. And it was such a good place to perform because it was a thrust stage, so people were just everywhere. It just felt like walls of people, and it felt so intimate at one point. I just walked to the front of the stage, and a woman on the front row said, "Oh no." I thought she must have seen me before.
But this was obviously, let me get this right, this was the best gig you've ever had. You
Yeah.
walked out and the woman said, "Oh no," immediately.
Oh no, it wasn't at the start. I was into it by then.
Why did she say, "Oh no"?
Because it was so intimate. It felt so intimate, and I would just walk to the front of the very front, because you didn't stand at the front all the time, because then there's people looking at your back because they go all the way round.
I see. I find a lot of women tend to say, "Oh no," when I get very intimate. Okay, but you stormed it.
It was a very, yeah.
What was the gig? It wasn't just you then, it was a host.
Russell Kane is because he's done his Fakespeare stuff where he does a play.
Yeah.
He's sort of curating a night there. It was the first one, and it was me and Chris Addison were on, and it's ever such a nice. You should do it, Frank. It's ever such a nice place to perform.
Well, I wasn't asked. I'll be straight with you.
I'm sure they'll get to it.
I'd go on and not do any stand-up, just do Richard III, something like that.
Why not?
Yeah. Very marvellous.
Well, I sort of think it's why it's...
Now is the winter of our discontent made glorious summer by the son of York, and all the clouds that loud upon our house in the deep bosom of the ocean buried. Now are our brows bound with
Yeah.
I sort of think it's why it's went so well, is because when you think that in that venue, Shakespeare plays get laughs. The bits that are even something that's
Yes.
Just the vaguest bit.
Oh no, I laugh at those jokes. I
Really?
like Shakespeare. Yeah, I'm the one that laughs at those things loudly, in a very middle class way.
Well, I love a bit of Shakespeare, but I never laugh at the jokes.
No.
Oh, I love it.
He's lowered the bar.
He's lowered the bard.
Yeah.
Certainly, yeah. Oh, so you think that this
Yeah.
was a Shakespeare crowd, you're thinking?
Well, I think or it was partly Shakespeare crowd and other people as well. There was, it's all been newly renovated, but there was one thing that wasn't finished yet. In the dressing rooms, the dressing rooms were really lovely. They had balconies.
I like the way you look at me when you say that, thinking, "Oh, she'll like this lady." Bit of dressing rooms.
Balconies in the dressing rooms.
Yeah.
Oh.
But on the door it said, "Do not go on the balcony and shut the door," because the balconies the doors didn't have handles on the outside yet.
Oh, okay.
So if you went on the balcony,
You'd stay in the balcony.
yeah, that would be it.
I remember I played a theatre and the bloke at the front of the stage door guy said, "You're in luck tonight, Mr. Skinner. We've put you in the Anushka Hempel room."
Lovely.
And we went into this. It was a completely normal dressing room like all the others, except they'd put a pink satin curtain covering the pipe work onto the sink. Well, I mean, how Anushka Hempel is that? Who is Anushka Hempel, by the way? Is she a hotelier?
She's a hotelier. 1960s figure designer, married well. She's now a
Was she in
hotelier.
Upstairs, Downstairs?
Absolutely not, no.
Okay.
That was Jean Marsh.
Well, it wasn't just Jim. Jim Marsh played all parts.
Well, she wrote
Like
it.
Alec Guinness in Kind Hearts.
She did write it. She got the pick of
Jean
it.
Marsh wrote it.
She wrote Upstairs, Downstairs.
Well, I
It was
never
her
knew.
basic idea and concept.
I never knew that. If you're listening, Marshy, as we say, this Ian Wright thing's getting to me. Well done, Marshy. Is she still around, Marshy?
She's still around. And in fact, interestingly enough, when they revived Upstairs, Downstairs, guess who had a little plum part for herself?
Well,
Jean Marsh.
That's lovely story. Because she used to be quite difficult in those days, but she's lovely now. I'd say that.
Was she difficult?
I'd say marshmallowed. Oh, we've got to end on that laugh. How marvellous. See, she's all posh, but there was a little hint of the fishwife in that laugh. You see, if you dig deep enough in these people, you'll always find the commoner.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute.